For decades, researchers in psychology and sexology have sought to answer one fundamental question: what do women truly crave most in the bedroom? Surprisingly, it isn't complicated techniques or secret tricks whispered in magazines. What women desire most is to feel deeply and unapologetically wanted. A survey of over 9,000 American women revealed a striking truth: when a man expresses his raw, unfiltered passion without restraint, it awakens something primal and electrifying. This sense of being genuinely desired not only heightens physical pleasure but also dissolves insecurities, allowing women to surrender fully to intimacy. At Intimate Wisdom, we believe this craving goes far beyond physical touch. It's communicated through the intensity of eye contact, the rhythm of breath, the rawness of sound, and the authenticity of words. When men channel this desire with balance, women experience not just attraction, but also admiration, safety, and emotional liberation. The first thing: sustained eye contact. In social psychology, the eyes have long been described as the windows to the soul. Far from being a poetic metaphor, this expression is supported by scientific evidence showing that eye contact plays a crucial role in emotional bonding. When two people gaze into each other's eyes for more than a fleeting moment, the brain releases oxytocin, often called the love hormone. Oxytocin is directly linked to feelings of trust, intimacy, and emotional safety, making it a biological foundation for deep human connection. In the context of intimacy, sustained eye contact becomes a silent yet powerful language. For many women, having their partner look directly into their eyes during sexual moments conveys an unmistakable message: I am fully present with you, and my desire is entirely focused on you. This form of attention communicates exclusivity and authenticity, both of which amplify arousal and build confidence. When eye contact is absent, however, the opposite effect often occurs. Women may interpret a wandering gaze as detachment, insecurity, or even disinterest. Instead of feeling cherished, they risk feeling like an object of performance rather than a partner in passion. Studies in sexology highlight that such disruptions in emotional communication can dampen arousal and lead to dissatisfaction, even when physical techniques are otherwise successful. By contrast, direct gaze works almost like a mirror. It reflects both partners' vulnerability and excitement. It dismantles self-conscious worries about appearance, concerns about stretch marks, body shape, or imperfections, and redirects focus toward the shared experience. In this way, eye contact becomes a form of reassurance, affirming that every part of her is not only accepted but desired. The most profound effect of eye contact often emerges at the climax of intimacy, when heart rates quicken, breathing accelerates, and bodies move in synchrony. Locking eyes elevates the moment from physical release to an emotional crescendo. Many couples describe this shared gaze at orgasm as unforgettable, an experience that fuses passion with tenderness, creating a memory far stronger than any technique alone could provide. From a neurological perspective, this phenomenon is associated with what researchers call neural synchrony. When two individuals maintain mutual gaze, their brainwave patterns begin to align, producing a sense of unity and flow. In sexual encounters, this neural resonance enhances not just physical pleasure but also the perception of merging into a single, cohesive emotional state. Ultimately, sustained eye contact is far more than a romantic gesture. It is a scientifically validated tool that deepens intimacy, heightens arousal, and strengthens relational bonds. For women, the eyes are not just organs of sight but channels of profound emotional communication. In those unbroken gazes, they feel wanted, honored, and connected beyond the physical, experiencing intimacy as both passion and partnership. The second thing: expressive breathing and vocalization. Sound in intimacy is far more than instinct. It is a powerful form of nonverbal communication that conveys emotion, pleasure, and connection. Research in sexology consistently shows that the sounds made during sexual activity, ranging from accelerated breathing to spontaneous moans, serve as vital feedback signals. They reassure a partner that the experience is genuine, immersive, and mutually rewarding. For women, silence is often misinterpreted as detachment. When a man refrains from expressing himself vocally, she may wonder whether he is truly engaged or simply going through the motions. By contrast, the natural rhythm of breath, the subtle gasp, or the raw groan communicates immersion. It tells her, without words, "I'm overwhelmed by you, and I can't hold back my response." This authenticity intensifies arousal and fosters a deeper emotional bond. From a neurological perspective, sound in intimacy activates the limbic system, the brain's emotional control center. Hearing a partner's vocal expressions triggers the release of dopamine and endorphins, neurochemicals tied to pleasure and bonding. In other words, vocalization does more than signal desire, it creates a biological chain reaction that enhances the experience for both partners. There is also a phenomenon of biological synchronization. When partners match each other's breathing and sounds, their bodies begin to harmonize, creating a shared rhythm. Women frequently report that this synchronization makes it easier to relax, let go of inhibitions, and even reach orgasm more intensely. The soundscape of passion becomes a shared pulse, binding two nervous systems into one. Importantly, vocalization must be genuine. Overly dramatized or artificial sounds may break the sense of authenticity and feel performative rather than connecting. The most erotic expressions are often the simplest: a sudden exhale, a low moan escaping without thought, or a whispered gasp at the peak of sensation. These unfiltered signals reveal raw humanity, demonstrating that the man is not restrained, not hiding, but fully surrendered to the moment. Women often interpret such honesty as proof of trust. By allowing himself to be vulnerable, by revealing the primitive side of his desire, the man creates a safe space where she, too, can express herself without fear of judgment. The result is reciprocity. His authenticity gives her permission to release her own sounds of pleasure, creating a feedback loop of escalating passion. Ultimately, breathing and moaning naturally is not about performance, but about presence. It transforms intimacy from a mechanical sequence into an embodied dialogue where every sigh, every gasp, and every moan adds depth to the story unfolding between two people. In this symphony of sound, women feel desired, affirmed, and truly connected. The third thing: admiration of the body. In intimate relationships, a woman's body is often the site of her deepest insecurities. Research from the American Association of Sex Educators, Counselors, and Therapists indicates that more than 70% of women experience body image concerns during sexual activity, ranging from worries about weight and stretch marks to subtle details of appearance. These self-conscious thoughts can disrupt arousal, making it difficult to fully surrender to pleasure. Admiring her body is not just a romantic notion but a psychological strategy to dissolve these barriers. When a man explores his partner's body with reverence, treating it as something to be savored rather than judged, her brain responds in profound ways. Studies in neuroscience reveal that receiving visual and tactile admiration activates the release of serotonin and oxytocin. These neurochemicals are associated with joy, confidence, and bonding, creating a fertile ground for arousal. What matters most is not elaborate technique, but authenticity. A hungry gaze as she undresses, a deliberate kiss trailing along her shoulder, or a slow caress across her skin communicates an unspoken message: I admire you, every curve, every detail. This authenticity is powerful because it shifts her attention away from perceived flaws and directs it toward the shared experience. In this way, admiration becomes an antidote to self-doubt. From a neurological perspective, admiration of the body activates the brain's reward system, flooding it with dopamine. Dopamine is the neurotransmitter linked not only to pleasure but also to motivation. Thus, when a woman feels truly admired, she not only experiences heightened arousal but also develops a stronger desire to give, connect, and reciprocate. Admiration doesn't just spark momentary pleasure, it builds a cycle of intimacy where passion fuels passion. The manner of admiration is crucial. If expressed with possessiveness or aggression, it risks reducing her to an object of conquest. However, When conveyed through slow, deliberate, and attentive touch, admiration transforms into celebration. She is not a means to an end but the very center of desire, a work of art worthy of study, appreciation, and reverence. This perspective changes the dynamic from consumption to devotion. Ultimately, admiring her body is both erotic and therapeutic. It validates her worth beyond cultural standards of beauty and reassures her that vulnerability is not a liability but a source of attraction. When women feel celebrated rather than scrutinized, they unlock deeper levels of trust and passion. In such moments, intimacy ceases to be merely physical, it becomes an act of healing, empowerment, and profound connection. The fourth thing: verbal affirmation. In the landscape of intimacy, words are far more than decorative expressions, they are powerful tools that shape emotional experience and amplify physical pleasure. Neuroscientific research shows that verbal affirmation activates the brain's reward system, stimulating the release of dopamine and oxytocin, neurochemicals associated with joy, bonding, and trust. When women hear genuine words of admiration during intimate moments, these biochemical responses create not only excitement but also a sense of being valued and secure. For many women, silence in the bedroom can feel ambiguous. A lack of verbal expression may lead to questions such as, is he truly enjoying this? Am I giving him what he wants? In this context, words become a bridge, dissolving uncertainty and reinforcing connection. Simple phrases like "you're incredible," "I can't think of anything but you," or "you drive me crazy" do more than compliment, they confirm that she is the source of real and undeniable pleasure. The effectiveness of word lies in their authenticity. Women are remarkably perceptive to insincerity. An empty flattery often creates distance rather than closeness. When verbal affirmation is paired with congruent signals, eye contact, breath, touch, it forms a synchrony of cues that communicates genuine desire. This authenticity is why whispered words during climactic moments are so impactful. They are encoded as emotional memories, often remembered long after the physical details fade. Verbal expression also plays a critical role in fostering psychological safety. In long-term relationships, women frequently fear the gradual erosion of their attractiveness over time. Regular affirmations from a partner expressing continued admiration and desire counteract these insecurities. By hearing that she remains beautiful, sexy, and wanted, she feels liberated to drop her defenses and engage more fully in the experience. Beyond reassurance, verbal affirmation encourages reciprocity. When a man openly expresses his pleasure, women often feel more comfortable responding in kind, whether through moans, compliments of their own, or even direct communication about what they enjoy. This creates a positive feedback loop. His honesty inspires her openness, which in turn reinforces his desire. The result is not just mutual arousal but a richer, more collaborative sexual dialogue. The science of memory further emphasizes the value of words. Studies show that emotionally charged language is stored more vividly in the hippocampus, meaning the right words at the right time can create lasting impressions. In intimacy, this translates into moments that are etched not just into the body, but also into the heart and mind. Ultimately, verbal affirmation is not about performance or exaggerated declarations. It is about truth, timing, and resonance. A single sincere phrase can transform a fleeting encounter into a profound experience, reminding women that they are not only desired but cherished. In this way, words become catalysts of passion and anchors of trust, turning intimacy into a multidimensional expression of love and longing. The fifth thing: spontaneity. In both sexology and relationship psychology, spontaneity is considered one of the most powerful drivers of long-term passion. Research has shown that unexpected experiences trigger the brain to release dopamine, the neurotransmitter linked to excitement, novelty, and motivation. As a result, spontaneous actions in intimacy are not merely romantic gestures, they create tangible biological effects that intensify both love and desire. For women, a partner's spontaneous behavior often carries the message of uncontrollable attraction. When a man suddenly pulls her into a kiss in the living room, embraces her tightly in the kitchen, or whispers something sensual while she is occupied with mundane tasks. It communicates, "I want you right now," without preparation, without reason. This unfiltered desire is deeply erotic because it conveys that she is irresistible in the moment. Not only in carefully staged settings, such experiences often leave lasting impressions, becoming memories women cherish as some of the most passionate moments of intimacy. Spontaneity is not limited to location. It can also manifest in rhythm, touch, or intensity. Breaking away from predictable sequences, changing the pace, surprising with a new gesture, or shifting the mood creates a sense of novelty. The unpredictability heightens neural activity and awakens the senses, making women more responsive and engaged. In this way, spontaneity acts as a catalyst that transforms routine encounters into thrilling adventures. From a psychological standpoint, spontaneous actions serve as an antidote to habituation, the gradual dulling of desire that often occurs in long-term relationships. Familiarity can sometimes diminish passion, but an unplanned kiss in the hallway or a sudden embrace from behind can reset the dynamic, reigniting the spark of being desired like the very first time. These small, unexpected moments breathe vitality into bonds that might otherwise settle into routine. What matters most is authenticity. True spontaneity arises from genuine desire, not from calculated performance. If an unexpected gesture feels forced or aggressive, it can create discomfort rather than excitement. However, when rooted in affection, attentiveness, and emotional attunement, spontaneity becomes a powerful form of validation. It reassures women that their partner's attraction is alive, raw, and present, not dependent on conditions or settings. Ultimately, spontaneity is a reminder that passion is not confined to the bedroom or to carefully orchestrated scripts. It thrives in everyday spaces and ordinary moments, precisely because it disrupts predictability. By embracing spontaneity, men transform intimacy into a living, breathing experience, one that is not only pleasurable but also unforgettable. In those unplanned gestures, women feel most desired, most alive, and most deeply connected. 1. The simple but intimate question: what's your favorite snack? Never underestimate the charm of a seemingly harmless question. When you lean in, smile, and casually ask, "So, what's your favorite snack?" you're doing more than talking about food. You're opening a tiny door into her private world. Everyone has a little craving tied to memories or guilty pleasures, and when she shares it, she's letting you step closer to her everyday joys. The real magic lies in your response. If she says she loves gummy bears, you could tease with a grin, "I knew it. Sweet, colorful, and totally addictive just like you." That playful line isn't just banter, it turns a plain fact into flirtatious chemistry. Humor, when wrapped in light teasing, creates a spark of energy that makes her feel both seen and desired in a fun, non-threatening way. From a psychological perspective, such light questions build a sense of safety. They don't demand deep vulnerability right away, yet they set the stage for intimacy. Teasing activates her reward system, releasing dopamine that makes the interaction feel exciting. Suddenly, she's not just answering a silly snack question, she's laughing, smiling, and feeling her guard drop. And that's where attraction quietly takes root. 2. The movie question and the power of why. Asking about her favorite movie might sound ordinary, but the follow-up why is where the magic happens. The why transforms the conversation from small talk into something personal. It shows you're not just collecting data, you're genuinely curious about the way she sees the world. If she says, "I love La La Land because it's beautiful and bittersweet like love that doesn't always last," you've been handed a doorway into her emotional world. That's your chance to lean in and say softly, "I like how you describe love. Sounds like you feel it with your whole heart." Now, you're no longer just a guy she's chatting with, you're someone who understands her. Psychologically, explaining a why requires reflection, which activates deeper memory and emotion. When you listen attentively and respond with warmth, she feels validated. Women often crave that kind of attentive listening. It's rare, It's magnetic, and it creates an emotional charge between you. Suddenly, a conversation about movies becomes a dance of vulnerability and intrigue, drawing her closer without her even realizing it. 3. The perfect date question, unlocking her heart. When you ask, "What would your perfect day look like?" you're not just asking about her schedule, you're inviting her to paint a picture of happiness. Unlike snack or movie questions, this one touches her core values and secret desires. It's flirty because it's personal, yet dreamy enough to spark imagination. As she describes it, may be coffee on a balcony, a quiet morning with music, or a road trip to the coast. You'll notice her eyes light up. In that moment, she's showing you the world she wishes to live in. That's your opening to smile and add, "Sounds amazing, I'd love to be part of that day." With one playful line, you've placed yourself in her fantasy, not as an intruder, but as a welcomed presence. The beauty of this question is that it's both simple and intimate. Psychologically, imagining a perfect day releases oxytocin, the bonding hormone. By listening and weaving yourself into her vision, you create an emotional bridge. She won't just remember the question, she'll remember how it made her feel, understood, valued, and connected. That's the kind of subtle flirting that lingers long after the conversation ends. Conclusion. In the realm of intimacy, it is not elaborate techniques or carefully rehearsed scripts that captivate women. What they long for most is genuine, unrestrained desire, the feeling of being the center of passion, not just a participant in performance. When a man maintains deep eye contact, lets his breath and sounds flow naturally, admires her body with reverence, affirms her with sincere words, and occasionally disrupts routine with spontaneous gestures, he creates an irresistible experience. In those moments, women feel both wanted and truly cherished. Alongside this, the use of flirty questions adds another dimension to connection. A playful inquiry about her favorite snack, a deeper why behind her favorite movie, or an invitation to describe her perfect day. All of these spark conversation that is light-hearted yet meaningful. They break down barriers, encourage her to open up, and transform small talk into emotional intimacy. This is flirtation at its finest, subtle, charming, and deeply resonant. Ultimately, the secret lies in blending authentic desire with thoughtful communication. One fuels physical passion, while the other nurtures emotional closeness. Together, they elevate intimacy into something greater than pleasure alone, a journey of trust, playfulness, and connection that women not only enjoy in the moment but crave to return to again and again. Thank you for listening until the very end. If today's story has gently stirred your heart, whether through an old memory, a present feeling, or something never spoken into words, please leave a like, subscribe to the channel, and turn on the notification bell. Intimate wisdom is where we come together to touch the hidden corners of love, affection, and sexuality. Things that may seem private, yet are in fact the very core of happiness. I wish you to always love deeply, live truthfully, and find yourself in every glance, every touch, and every trembling heartbeat. Affectionate greetings.